Welcome to the Marriage Be Like podcast. We're your hosts, Kenya
and Kenny.
We are glad you are here and joining us today. This podcast is here to discuss love, relationships, life topics, and how to navigate through it all.
Disclaimer, we are not specialists, counselors, or professionals in these fields. And the views, information, and opinions expressed in this radio show are solely those of the individuals involved and do not represent those of Envision Radio. We are a married couple with 28 years of life experiences under our belt. We hope to open some discussions, build some communication, and plant some seeds. So sit back, enjoy, and let's have a conversation and grow together.
Welcome to another Marriage Be Like podcast. My name is Kenya.
My name is Kenny.
We want to thank you for listening. We want to thank you for watching us.
Yes.
Thank you for coming back. And if it's your first time,
welcome.
We appreciate you coming and taking a listen. And if someone referred you, thank them.
Shout out to them.
You're about to enjoy this podcast. I already know it.
Yeah.
And if it's if you are a return listener, regular listener, thank you.
Yeah.
We appreciate you. Welcome back.
Welcome back.
And keep listening. Keep coming back.
That's right.
We want to make sure that you know where you can find us, and we'll run that off really quickly.
Right.
You can find us on Envision Radio on Thursdays at 4 p.m. Eastern Time.
Yeah.
And 3 p.m. Central Time. That's
right.
every Thursday. And then on Friday, you can hear us on all the major podcast networks.
Wherever you get your podcast. That's
Wherever
right.
you get your podcast.
And sorry.
Go ahead, man. You got it.
And we also film this, so then you're catching it on YouTube. Catch the video version on YouTube.
Yes. And if all else fails, you can find us on our website.
That's right.
At marriagebelike.com. So there are some ways that you can find us. You can listen to us, watch us today, and then you can go back and listen and watch the other podcasts.
Right.
This is our season 2. We're in our second year of this podcast.
That's right.
Radio show host. So cool to say. So last week, we're going to jump right into it. How about that?
Let's go.
Okay. Last week, like, share, subscribe, engage. I don't want to miss saying that. Okay. Last week, we talked about connecting love and trust.
Right.
Now, mind you, it was a series, and that was the final one of that series. We talked about trust individually. Mm-hmm. We talked about loving each other individually. Mm-hmm. And then we talked about connecting the two. So make sure you go back and check those out, because today we're talking about something completely different. Today we're talking about something completely different. Today's title is A Spiritual Warfare.
A spiritual warfare.
All right, so don't be scared.
No.
It's a spiritual warfare because life is a spiritual warfare. It is what it is.
Yeah.
So we're going to discuss that today. Recently on the Perrys, and I don't know if anyone listens to the Perrys, but I like them quite a bit. I think they're pretty real in how they talk, and their perspectives on things are really different. So the Perrys is Preston and Jackie Perry. And recently they were talking about spiritual warfare on their podcast. And they actually had another couple on, as a matter of fact. But it wasn't the topic that day, but the conversation kind of walked into that. And it was just a little segment. And I saw that segment and I said, you know what? We don't talk about that enough. As couples, as Christians even.
Yeah.
But in a marriage situation, we don't talk about it enough. So today, we're talking about the spiritual warfare.
Okay.
We're going to jump on into it. So Let's talk about our questions for today.
All right.
So first one, what is a spiritual warfare?
Ooh.
Why the attack on marriages? Yes, specifically marriages.
That almost triggered me, but go ahead.
What does the Bible say about this? Should I fear marriage? So should you fear getting married because it's a spiritual warfare?
Huh.
How can we overcome? All right, so those are some of the questions for today. And we're going to get on into it. How about that?
All right.
You ready, babe?
Let's go. Let's get it. Let's go.
So what is a spiritual warfare? I'm going to let you read the first piece.
Oh, okay. So first piece here, what is spiritual warfare? An unseen, ongoing battle between good and evil.
Yes.
Can I say that again? In an unseen, can I talk?
Can you?
An unseen, ongoing battle between good and evil.
Yes.
Right? In this, Christians resist spiritual opposition from Satan, who seeks to distract them from their purpose, faith, and total connection with God.
Yes. I found that online. I want to say it was from Focus on the Family, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
I can't completely remember, but I have the references later on. And when I saw that, I said, man, that hit right to the point. It is, it's Satan. We just gonna go on and say it straight up.
Yeah.
That's what the spiritual warfare is. That's who we're fighting and battling against.
Right.
And I think that sometimes we forget that, honestly. When you're in a heated discussion, I don't want to even say argument.
Right.
When
Passionate
you are
discussion.
passionate discussion, when you are going through things and challenges in life, we have to remember it's not our spouse. It's really Satan.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing. That the first thing that we look at, right? That we
Yes.
figure out that I say figure out, we believe that it is our spouse
Yeah.
because oftentimes it is the spouse who may be the instrument that frustrates us.
The key word, though, in this particular message is the word distract.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's why we say, when we think that is our spouse, I think that it's Kenya that is really causing all this trouble.
Yeah.
Right. And that's where the distraction comes.
Right.
That's where the distraction comes because Kenya is a gift to me.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Right.
Kenya is a gift to me. So then the distraction is to create the illusion that gift is now a curse.
Right.
Right?
What we're going through right now is a big problem.
Right.
But really it's a distraction from what's supposed to be happening.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And that hit me pretty good when I read it. And I was like, oh, word for word, if I can.
Right.
And I ended up not putting it word for word, but it's close enough. And because I wanted to keep the same thoughts. I wanted to make sure that it came across well.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay. The world obviously is surrounded by this topic, and here's some examples. I like Marvel movies.
Okay. Yes.
Marvel movies are always about good versus evil.
Well, what movie isn't? Okay. But I mean, all right. I got you.
Right.
Though.
So then, you're talking about movies, comic books, TV shows.
Yeah.
The world is surrounded by good versus evil. Why would we not understand that works for us too in our marriages?
In our marriages. Wow.
From a Christian perspective.
Now, let's clarify, right?
Yes.
Because we're not saying that I'm good and Kenya's evil.
No, we're not. No, that's not what we're saying.
Or
We're
vice
saying
versa.
that we together as Christians are fighting against evil.
Yeah.
And we together as a family are fighting the spiritual warfare.
That's right.
And so the world that we live in is much surrounded by good versus evil. And that's the understanding, even whether you're a Christian or not. That's the honest truth. Whether you're a Christian or not, you see the negative versus the positive.
Okay.
If that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to look at it from a different perspective. But of course, as Christians, we know it's Satan's battle against Christ.
Right.
It really ain't our battle.
Right.
But we don't consider that when we're in the midst of challenges.
That's right.
So we consider the people's behaviors and that kind of thing. But looking at it from where we're supposed to be looking at it so that we're not distracted, making sure that you understand that it's not us versus them. It's us in Christ.
Yeah.
And he got our back.
Yeah.
Okay. So as a believer, we know that Satan is the playing card, but God is almighty.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Okay. So why the attack on marriages, babe?
Let me start here, right? Because we talk about the core structure of a family.
Yes.
Right? I mean, there is no one watching, listening that can say that they have not been impacted strongly or influenced strongly by their family.
Right.
Right. I mean, whether, parents and no matter what the family looks like, right? There are already dynamics in a family situation, but the family is where we find our strength.
Yes.
Right. I mean, our spiritual base is taught to us from our parents, and if the devil can come in, right, or if that can be destroyed, and where we are unable to rely on or trust that the information that is being passed down to us by our parents, then then we are lost, right? We're going in, we're left to our own devices to try to figure things
Yes.
out. You know what I'm saying? So then where do you start with that, right? You
Yeah.
start in that marriage, because then when you are able to break a marriage, everything behind it suffers in some way or
That's
form.
true. Particularly, you're talking about children.
Yeah.
You're talking about bringing families together.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know if once that marriage is broken, which
Mm-hmm.
I hate to say that, but it is what it is. It's life.
Yeah.
But once that marriage is broken, you don't know how those in-laws, how those other pieces of the family
Right.
can be impacted.
Right. Yeah.
Your union brought them all together,
Right.
and not just 4 or 5 people, but we're talking about multitudes of people. And then now that's no longer there. So then now how does that work?
Yeah.
But
yeah.
who it affects the most is the individual couple, and then of course the children.
Right.
That
Right.
So
Right.
but that foundation changes.
Another point to add about that is, marriage, after God created the heavens and the earth and then the animals and then Adam and Eve, right?
Hmm.
Actually, that's the first institution,
That is
marriage,
correct. That is correct.
right? And so then why wouldn't you start there?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you were trying to destroy something, you would start there. In fact, look back at what happened with Eve, Adam and Eve, and the serpent, and how the attack was
They
there.
tried multiple times to steal, kill, and destroy.
Yeah, and so that was the first attack.
Right. He wants to and wanted to, even then, he's still trying to destroy what God created and what he ordained.
Yeah.
Not everything was ordained. That's the other thing.
Mm-hmm.
Not everything was blessed. God spoke all these things into existence, but Adam and Eve,
Yes.
their union was blessed.
Yes.
Of course, they were in the Garden of Eden,
Right.
but it wasn't blessed. There's a different situation. There's a different something about marriages and how God has put his special hand on it. And that's why Satan wants to try to destroy it.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing there.
Another part of that, and I know you wanted to get to your notes.
Sure, but go right ahead.
But another part of that is that relationship between husband and wife. I mean, you see that depicted in Christ coming,
Yes.
right? So then when we look at that relationship, should it not represent our relationship with God?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And when we talk about that love and that trust and really being vulnerable and being able to give up so much of yourself to that individual, that's where we get that. And
You
I
just
believe
described Jesus' relationship with us.
yeah. And that's the point. So then if you could effectively destroy that, right? Now you have destroyed that representation or that example of how we should revere each other.
Yeah.
And how we should revere God and Christ. And man, and so what more effective way to kind of bring the world down but to attack marriages?
Yeah, Satan always has tricks up his sleeve, but we know who wins in the end.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. And we just have to be mindful of that,
Yes.
honestly.
Yes.
That's the honest truth. We have to be mindful of that. When we marry for love, companionship, etc., knowing that life itself will bring challenges, we plan to hit them head on as a team. That's what the goal is here. So that I'm married to my husband, Kenny, and he's married to me. So we get to fight this thing together.
Yeah.
It's not Kenya has to fight it, or fight Satan, fight this spiritual warfare by herself.
Right.
While being pruned for heaven. Right? Am I saying that all right? You following me?
Yeah, I'm following.
But being able to manage it spiritually with my husband, and we are being pruned together to get to heaven as a union.
Yeah.
Speaks volumes.
You know what? So when let me ask a question just for anybody, when you accomplish a goal, right? How much different is the reward or the experience or the celebration when one, either you have done it by yourself and nobody walked with you through that process, or someone was right there with you every step of the way? And who do you celebrate that with?
Yeah.
Right? The celebration is much different when it was just you by yourself. Right? No one gets to. No one has the. No one has shared in the toil and the challenges and the pitfalls that you have faced, and then and strengthen each other. Right? You didn't
Right.
have anybody
Right.
to gain strength from to help you to overcome those challenges.
Yeah.
And so, if it was all by yourself, how can we really celebrate that? But
Yeah.
then when you have,
You're never by yourself anyway.
well, no.
It's going to be somebody else helping if it's not a friend or a sibling or a parent.
Yeah, I mean, but my
And so
point is
together you celebrate as
together.
a
That's
team.
it. That's
Yeah.
where it is. I mean, because now the celebration is greater
Right.
because I can celebrate with you, and then I feed off of your celebration.
That's
Right.
correct.
That's why when I was playing ball in the crowd, I hit
I was
in the
going
crowd.
to give a sports analogy too.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, when I was playing ball and the crowd just cheered and the whole gym, they jumped on their feet and they were stomping in the stands and folks was running around the gym because Kenny Green made a spectacular play and
Now.
the whole school.
Now I'm starting to wonder if it
and,
actually was true.
I might have laid it on a little thick.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, I'm thinking as well. Yeah, that was thick.
The point I was trying to get to was, you feed off of that.
Right.
Right. If
Right.
you are in the moment, being in the moment means now that you are, we are all feeling that same energy
Yeah,
and
that's true.
pushing through. And so
I was going to give a real analogy. On sports,
that
but it's
was-
okay. I'll let you have your time.
that was real to me
Yes.
in my dream soul. That was real in my dreams. It was
Yes, it
really there
was.
in my dreams. It was really in my dreams.
But your point came across. Yes, yes. The cheering and the excitement in the end is what we push for.
Yeah.
Because we have worked together as a team.
As
And
a
let's
team,
not
right.
forget, God is a part of our team.
Right.
You know, or we're on his team. It's really
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, you get to work together as a spouse, and then your teammate is Jesus.
Right.
I mean, come on, it doesn't get better than that.
That's an unfair advantage.
It really is. It really is. And though we call it a spiritual warfare, like I said, in the end, we have God. So it really ain't really a battle because we know he's going to win. We just have to think of it a different way.
What's you talk about that Jesus being on your team. I don't know if you saw that little video. A little kid was talking to his mother about being on the little basketball team. He couldn't have been about 7, 8 years old.
I don't know. I don't think so. But go ahead.
And they did not win the game.
Mhm.
And so the mother was like, "Oh, well, and the son was like, no. Listen, it was such and such Christian academy, right?
Mhm.
They were supposed to win. I mean, God was on their side. In fact, they had Jesus on their team. What
Because
were
it
we
was
supposed to do with
Christian
that?
Academy.
What were we supposed to do with that? What do you think I'm gonna do? Well, I can't play against Jesus like
Oh,
that.
that's funny. His perspective. That's hilarious.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
But yes, he's right. You know, in a sense, that's how I feel about it. And that's how we should see it when we're battling and going through challenges. And I
Right.
hate to even use the word battling, but sometimes it really is battles.
No, it's
Yeah.
a bit. No, I
If
don't have an
you-
issue with
Yeah,
saying
yeah.
it's a battle, right?
Because it's called spiritual warfare.
Right.
You know.
So why wouldn't it be a battle? Why
Right.
I mean, and here's the thing: when you say battle, that means now that I've got to, that takes a whole different skill set,
Yes.
a whole different level of energy,
Yes.
and a certainly another focus and purpose in what we're doing. And oh man, there's a sense of urgency is what I'm looking for.
And
we've got to
even
get
your
this right.
armor that you're using is
Yes,
different.
there you go. Yeah. So no, I don't have a problem with it being a battle.
All right, so we're actually going to talk about that a little bit more in just a moment. All right, so here's the next question. How can we overcome?
Hmm.
Wait, that's not where we are. You messed me up. The
Did I?
next question, because we went to the game.
Oh,
The next
my
question
fault.
is, what does the Bible say about this?
Yes.
That's the next question.
And I was looking right at it too.
Yeah, I'm sure that you are. All right, so mixing it up threw me off just a little bit. I was like, wait a minute, that's not where we are. Let's talk about this piece. And I only actually put down a few
Right.
Bible verses because those are the ones that actually came to my mind. And it's funny because I knew the verses. I
Mhm.
knew how to paraphrase them. And I was like, no, where is it found though?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I need to be able to remember both where it's found and what it's talking about.
Right.
Okay, so the first one I have is Ephesians 6:12. And basically, I didn't give any quotes or exact, but it basically talks about wrestling not with flesh and blood. Our spiritual warfare is not actually being seen. It's not person to person. It's not flesh and blood. It's unseen.
You know, I mean, we're talking about. I mean, like we said earlier, we often think that our challenges that we come across, the challenges that we come across in our marriage,
Right.
is directly a result or influenced by the other partner,
Yes.
right? And that's how that's who we fight against, because that's how we perceive it.
Right.
Right. But like we mentioned, the devil is attacking our marriage, and as a result, he uses us, right, to get on each other's nerves and to try to destroy that.
Right.
Right. So now, and it's okay. I want to make something clear, right? Because when we say that the devil's going to use me to get at you, right, it's because oftentimes our thought process, the things that we have an inclination to do out of anger or spite or revenge or whatever the case may be, right? That's been influenced by the devil. You know what I'm saying? And I don't believe that God created us to be that way.
Oh, I agree.
You know,
I thought you were going a different route, so I'll take it. Once you're done, I'll take it a different route.
okay. And oftentimes when we take that negatively to make us seem like we're bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And don't want to actually admit, because we feel like, oh, well, that means then I am an active agent of the devil.
Right. That's what when you say it out loud, that's what it sounds like.
That's what it sounds like. Right. I am an active agent of the devil, and,
right.
I'm doing the devil's bidding,
No.
So anyway.
It's not intentional by you, because it's a fight not against flesh and blood. It's a spiritual warfare.
Right.
The twist to that, though, and what I thought you were going to take it was, well, no, I done forgot.
Oh. Oh, well, good job.
Here we go. Okay. It came back to me. So the difference there is that he gets to your spouse because they're the closest person to you.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to be aggravated immediately.
Yes.
Or very close to immediately, because you love this person so much.
Right.
And then you got something else coming at you. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He can go there because it would be easiest to get you.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, he uses family members.
Yeah.
But, and he ain't shamed about doing it.
Not at all.
He's not shamed.
Not
so
at
then
all.
we can't be shamed by calling him out on it.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? Calling out the evil that you see, not against your spouse, but against the situation.
Yeah.
So I'm not rebuking my spouse, but in prayer, I'm rebuking the situation, and I'm telling the devil, you better get behind me because I ain't playing with you.
Yeah. So let's take the second half of that text, right? And I'm just gonna read this, right, from
Go ahead and read it.
This is from the King James version. That's kind of where I default to most times. Anyway,
I like the New King James version.
For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. So again, when we come against challenges in our marriage or in any relationship, remind yourself of that. Right?
Yes.
That the battle is not with flesh and blood, is not with the person that you see in front of you. The person that you see in front of you may be it may just be the example or the manifestation, but the reality is, right, there are powers behind that are really coming to destroy what God has actually set up for you. And listen, God has our best interest at heart.
He does.
Right. And so the challenges that we
does.
face are not challenges to break us, but to strengthen
To
us.
strengthen us. He wants us closer to him.
Yeah.
And he wants us to be strong spiritually.
Right.
And in order to be strong spiritually, you got to go through trials and tribulations.
Right.
Jesus did. Why
Yeah.
can't we?
Right. But I don't want you to confuse that with the challenges that the devil throws in our way
Yeah.
to try to break us.
Yeah.
You see the difference there. And when we look at these challenges, oftentimes we mischaracterize them, or we respond inappropriately. And when I say
That's true.
inappropriately, we don't take the right response to find that as an opportunity to strengthen ourselves. All right, so 1 John 4:4, there we find victory in Christ and encouragement.
Yes.
Right. So
again, these are very, very paraphrased.
yeah. broken on down. Yeah.
But in the end, you can go through the struggles, you can go through the problems and situations and battles, if you will.
Yeah.
But in the end, we know who wins.
Yeah.
And that's the encouragement.
Yeah.
You keep pushing, you keep fighting, because you're going to have victory in Jesus.
Yeah.
You're going to have victory in your spiritual life. You're
Yeah.
going to have more faith to keep going in the next challenge that comes.
Yeah.
In the end times, when the world is coming to an end, you're going to be stronger for having gone through all those things with your spouse, for having gone through those things spiritually. Sometimes it's not with your spouse.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's an individual spiritual thing that your spouse just has to help you through, but it may not necessarily be with your spouse. So going through those things in the end is encouragement, because you'll be closer to Christ because you understand more of what he went through for us.
Yeah.
And also what we have to do to be with him.
Yeah. And so you're leading us into how we can overcome. One of the things that I like to add.
We're going to do our segment first.
Oh, okay. Well, let's do our segment, and then because I do want to add something to how we overcome.
How we overcome. Well, keep it in your mind.
Yeah, I got you.
Let's do the segment. Are you ready for the segment?
I'm ready.
Okay.
But you go first.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. So our segment today is what moved me this week.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, for me, what moved me this week is how we got this topic for our podcast.
Yeah.
So, and I'm just going to quickly, I'm not going to give any details because they're still going to come on.
Yeah.
So this week we had several couples scheduled, or recently we've had several couples scheduled to be on our podcast with us. And each time they've had to cancel.
Mm.
In some cases, they've had to reschedule and reschedule and reschedule.
Yeah.
And it made me think, because the situations weren't normal situations, why they had to reschedule, why they weren't on our podcast. And I said, you know what? That's a spiritual battle.
Yes.
That's a spiritual warfare. Their families, their relationships were being attacked particular times right when they were supposed to come on, because each couple canceled on the day.
On the day. Day of.
Day of. That's not a coincidence. Not when it's several at a time.
Mm-hmm.
The first one, okay, coincidence, fine, we can reschedule. But the second one, I was like, oh no, this is not a coincidence. And the thing about it is, one of the reasons why we do this podcast is to spread awareness, to have conversations, to plant seeds. But it's not just those things, it's also a spiritual thing.
Yeah.
We are a marriage. We are a Christian marriage.
Mm-hmm.
We are on a Christian radio station. You know what I mean? And so we advertise our church all the time. You
Yes.
know what I mean? But the thing about it is, it's about that battle too. And what we had not talked about yet was spiritual warfare.
All along.
And I don't think that we talk about that enough when it comes to marriages. We talk about it as Christians in church, through preaching and even Bible study, but I don't feel like we talk about it enough as far as marriage is concerned, because it is so easy to look at the other spouse.
Yeah.
It's easy just because they're there.
Right.
But in the end, it really isn't them. It's about Satan and what he's bringing to your table as a couple.
Yeah. To that point, Kenya, every topic that we discuss, right, falls under the fact, under spiritual warfare. So
it really does.
Yeah.
And so we're here to bring those things out.
Yeah.
to encourage and to give you tools to help you work. And not just you, us too.
Yes.
You know, we talked about recently how we were going through some challenges in our marriage, and I was having some forgiveness issues, and how we were just kind of going through it. We
Right.
were going through it in the midst of doing our podcast,
Right.
but I talked about it on the podcast so they can help somebody else.
Yes.
I
Yes.
wasn't going to at first. I wasn't going to bring out what we discussed, and I wasn't going to talk about, we going through it. But God was like, well, look, isn't that the whole point of the podcast?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why not? We're not perfect.
Nope.
We're helping to give tools that we know to use and that we have used and things that have brought us through so that it can help bring you through.
Right.
Hopefully,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it is a spiritual warfare. And that was very evident to me once the second couple had to reschedule. I was like, oh, I got my topic this week. That's okay.
Yeah.
Y'all can reschedule. That's all right. I will plan another podcast to talk about. And Lord was like, spiritual warfare. I said, you know what? And then I came across the Perry's piece. I was like, you're right. That's it. That's it. That's what it is right there. And that's what we're going to talk about this week.
All right.
So that's what moved me into doing this podcast.
All right. All right. So what moved me, and this particular segment is kind of birthed out of the idea that sometimes it's the smaller things
Yes.
that now yours wasn't small.
No.
Right. No, that wasn't that was quite obvious. But sometimes it's the smaller things. And we don't want to overlook even the small things.
Right.
So there was a small project that I was working on yesterday.
Okay.
Okay. And in your mind you say, oh, I want to do this, I want it to be this way, and I'm not sure how I can do this, but I'm going to start it. And this particular project, I was running lines through a wall.
Okay.
Right. And there were several
normal.
Right, just normal stuff. This was like a audio cable, Ethernet cable, and HDMI cable, right?
Okay.
And now I'm thinking about I may throw another one through there. But anyway, I wanted to run it through the wall. And initially, I wasn't sure how simple it was going to be.
Okay.
And the beauty in and what moved me about this was that whenever we attack a goal, sometimes God just makes it easy for us. And obviously easy. Like there was no way that I could have figured that out on my own.
Okay.
And it was just too easy for me to not have figured it out on my own.
Okay.
All right. I know that's kind of oxymoron, but I get to the space where I was going to work, and I noticed right above, there's like a drop ceiling, and the drop ceiling was removed. And I noticed that there was a particular line that was running through a flexible conduit into the wall.
Okay.
The same wall I wanted to get to.
Right.
And then there was a hole with a faceplate on it, right?
Okay.
That covered the hole right near where that conduit was. And then there was an outlet with a coax, the old cable.
Yes.
The cable lines. It's a coax line. It was coming out of the wall towards the floor.
Okay.
And I thought, wait a minute. I want to go through this wall, but it looks like all I got to do is follow that same coax line.
The same line.
And pull it right through. And within 30 minutes, and I'll say 30 minutes because then I had to, the normal cable pull procedures and stuff like that. I went through all that. And then the HDMI cable, I had to figure out how to get it to go into the conduit because the end of it was pretty thick. So anyway, bottom line is, I didn't know how easy it was going to be when I first approached it. Now, I'm not saying that this is a difficult task in any situation. However,
it's difficult for people who don't know
how to do it, right?
And understand, which I was going to say, once you're done with your story, explain what you were trying to do for those who don't understand those chords and the kind of thing.
Oh, okay. So, but it was what posed it as a difficult situation was that most of the building is brick. There's brick and cinder block, so I didn't know that I could do that. Bottom line, I was working in a church trying to run some AV lines. So your HDMI cable is the video, your Ethernet is obviously networking,
Network.
and then there was audio cable because we were running audio from the back of the room to the front of the room. The lines were already there, but what somebody had installed them and dropped them out of the ceiling down the wall, and then had the excess just laying on the floor so that you step on it every time you go back there. So I just wanted to clean that up
Clean it up.
and hide the
I
lines,
was about to say it.
hide all the lines and get them out of the way so you're not stepping on them and
Right.
damaging them. And so, and I was able to complete that task. And like I say, it was,
How long did you think it was going to take you?
oh, I had no clue because actually, and be honest with you, there is a part that I didn't even discuss that I planned on being able to do. That was the only thing that I thought I could do. Hiding the lines in the wall, running the lines, fishing the lines through the wall was not, it was just a hope. It wasn't even in the scope of what I was trying to do initially.
Okay.
Right. And that moved me because when we approach something, right, God gives us the strength to overcome challenges or even to reach the goals, right? The goals that we see. But we forget oftentimes that there are challenges and we don't even see that God has given us the power to overcome, right? Because of some of the challenges that we have faced in the past, right? Now, to kind of segue back into the topic, right? Spiritual warfare, right? It's easy to identify the challenges that we face because they come at us, and we've never seen them before.
Yes.
Right? We come at, man, what is this? Why am I? But here's the thing, right? And this is to encourage you, right? And kind of add to the next part of our topic. How can we overcome? Is because when we have gone, as we go through life and we face challenges that sometimes we don't even recognize them anymore because we faced them before and God has given us the strength to overcome them. When we overcome them subconsciously, we just move on as if it never came. Right?
That's so true.
I mean, it's that's
almost
one of
like
the things,
going through the motions.
right? Muscle memory or whatever the case may be. You have gone through this enough that you know this like the back of your hand. You
But
move
stopping
on,
to thank God.
and that's where we got to remember. And that was the reason why the segment plays a part, because now you got to look back and say, wait a minute, God, I thank you for the smaller things.
Yes.
And then God, I thank you for the things that that you have given me the strength to overcome, that no longer really affect me.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that they don't come. They just don't affect you like they used to.
And even in your situation, going through the wall and trying to figure out how it was going to, because you thought you was going to come upon obstacles that weren't even there.
That weren't even
you
there.
You were ready and willing, and then it turned out to be much easier than you thought.
I mean, yeah.
And that moved you because you went in thinking, oh, it might be hours.
This is gonna be. This may
God made a way without in the simple thing.
Right. Yeah. So like to segue back into it, like how can we overcome? That is one thing. Every time we face a particular challenge and we have been able to overcome by the power of God, makes it easier for us to face that challenge again.
Yeah, leaning on God. And I talked earlier about spiritual warfare, but also spiritual armor. That was the word I was looking for. It had to come to me. Spiritual armor, or the armor that we use to fight the battle.
Yeah.
And the armor that we use is spiritual.
Yeah.
Breastplate of Jesus. Prayer, fasting. Those are spiritual things that we use to fight the battle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Use spiritual tools, counseling, Bible reading.
Yes.
I talked earlier how I knew the verse but didn't know where to find it.
Right.
So marriage retreats, when you're talking about being married and keeping that marriage together, keeping that union that God has ordained.
Yeah.
Marriage retreats.
Yeah.
That's again where the counseling comes in.
Right.
Being able to keep doing those things so that you can keep staying in the battle.
The other part about marriage retreats, for those who have heard it and never really considered doing it, but it gives couples an opportunity to testify to other couples what we have been through and how we have been able to navigate through those things.
Yeah.
So,
Discussing how you overcame a particular thing
yeah,
is praise and testimony.
yeah,
And let's not forget to do those things.
yeah.
That was your point a few moments ago as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Focusing on yourself.
Right. Or can we say being more self-aware?
Self-aware. There you go. That's a great way of putting it.
Yeah, being more
Self-aware
self-aware.
of your behaviors, your hurts, your hang-ups. Correcting those things.
Yeah,
so that you can go to the next thing.
yeah, yeah.
But you know who brings those things out? Your spouse.
Ah,
You don't always know what your hurts and hang-ups are.
right.
Because you're just going on through life.
Yeah.
So unless something happens to bring that up, to bring that out.
Because they're watching you. They're they're right there with you. So yeah.
Your kids.
Ah,
If you never knew that you had anger management,
right.
have a disobedient kid. Oh boy, yeah. Bring that right on out.
Bring it right on out. Bring it right on out. Yeah.
Bring it right on out. So that's the thing about family. It helps to bring out those things that need work.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean by pruning. I said earlier.
Yeah. And so when you're more self-aware, right? Because you're talking, because the next thing you're saying, push for spiritual growth individually. Yes. When you're more self-aware, you are able to identify where that growth is necessary.
That is correct.
Right. I mean, if that's the one thing that I am grateful for, and I know that there are times when I fail in that respect, being self-aware, but there are certain things that I'm like, yeah, you know what? I need to fix this.
Right.
But at the same time, if I miss it, then I can rely on Kenya to remind me. And she does. She does. She does. She gets on my case so much.
But that's the whole point, though. That's where the growth comes in.
Yeah.
You can't grow if you don't know about it.
That's right.
You have to know about it, admit to it, and then grow from it.
So how do you expect me to be any better? You ain't saying nothing about it.
Right, there you go. And that's what I'm here for. All right, you're welcome. Push for spiritual growth and higher faith.
Yes.
As a couple.
Yes.
So your personal growth enhances your growth as a couple.
Right.
So it has to happen.
Yeah.
It has to happen. You have to look within yourself. You have to try to change what's wrong and try to fix and grow and sacrifice so that you are a better couple, a better family spiritually.
Yeah. Yeah. And then know that your spouse is not your enemy.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, if you think this way, right?
We're all human.
Right. We're all human. But if you think that your spouse is your enemy, there's no way that you can grow together.
Yeah.
Because now you're looking at each other as as the reason why you can't grow, right?
Yeah.
And we're fighting against each other.
Yeah.
So
remembering that they are your friend and lover.
Yeah.
They're not your enemy.
That's right. That's right. And and spiritual growth partner for that matter.
That's true.
So we want to be able to fight. And what I mean by that is fight for this relationship. Yes. We are a team. We fight together. Yes. So then, and that means that there's a level of intentionality to our process, whether it be communication with each other, communication with God through prayer. All those things really, those are ways we can actually fight together to, again, grow. And like you said, we're on the same team. So yeah.
And these are just some of the things that I thought of. I mean, there are many other ways, but covering your spouse in prayer. Another one I don't know we really talk about much.
Right.
Spiritual growth is about you. It's about your spouse as well. But what we don't talk about, I believe, is how you can help bring out that growth. Yes, I can say, hey, Kenny, you should probably do this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
I've seen this happen. I've seen these patterns. Let's work on these things. But also spiritual growth comes from interceding.
Yeah.
We should intercede on our spouse. It is what it is. If you have to anoint, then so be it. If you have to pray and fast, then so be it. They don't even have to know what's happening.
Yeah.
But you should always intercede for your spouse, for their personal growth, for your family's growth, for their leadership in your family, for whatever that role is.
Yeah.
But being able to do that willingly, being able to do that knowing the end goal is spiritual growth, knowing the end goal is reaching heaven, that is your encouragement.
Yes.
Even when you're mad. And if you're mad, that's when you really should be praying. That's when you really should be interceding.
Absolutely. It's hard, though.
Yeah, it's hard. But if, let's say, for instance, if your spouse, if you see something in your spouse that needs to be adjusted, that needs to be fixed, and they don't see it, intercede.
Yeah.
I guarantee you it'll be fixed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Guarantee it. Okay. Should I fear marriage? Should I fear getting married?
No. And I think a lot of people, particularly single
Some
people,
are scared.
are afraid of that, right? I mean, there are challenges.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And some may be quite significant.
Yes, that's true.
But the reality is, when you fight through them, right? When you grow through them, the benefit is immense, right? I mean, we grow and I love what we have become, what we've grown together
Absolutely.
to be.
Absolutely.
I like being silly with you.
Ditto.
And well, sometimes you can get on my nerves.
Of course.
Sorry, was I supposed to say something else? No.
That's all right. That's all right. That's all right. We get on each other's nerves.
No, I mean, but the reality is, we grow together, and man, I learned so much from you.
Yes, we learn from each other.
Yeah.
That's the honest truth.
And so,
some things you can't learn at the job. Some things you not going to learn even as an entrepreneur, and dealing with clients. Some things have to be pruned and learned and heard from family members.
Yeah.
People who you love and who love you.
Yeah.
That's how a lot of things come out. So challenges in everyday life, in everything, they come because there's growth to be done within.
Yeah.
We can't say it enough, honestly. That's the honest truth. Count it a blessing to have a spouse to walk with in this whole faith thing.
Yeah.
Count it a blessing. Don't fight against the marriage. Don't fight against your spouse. Work together as a team.
Right.
And count it a blessing that you have someone to walk this journey with.
To go back to that sports analogy, right? It's like
Wait, the made up one?
No.
The made up one you was talking about in your dream?
I don't know any made up ones.
Oh, yeah, okay. Go ahead, babe.
No, but I mean, you've got you talk about the draft, or you got the NFL draft, the NBA draft,
Yes.
And here's the thing: the excitement of a team looking at top prospects for the draft for the upcoming season. That's how we should be excited about being married.
Okay.
All right.
I'm not a sports person, so break it down a little more.
Well, here's the thing. You have tools, or you've got tools that I don't have.
Yes.
Right. And so
gifts and talents.
Right. There we go. That was really what I was looking for.
Okay.
Gifts and talents. You got gifts and talents that I don't have. But when we put our gifts and talents together, there's not much that we together with God's help can't do.
It's true.
Okay.
It's true.
So then, and I'm talking about this from the perspective of someone considering marriage. Should I fear marriage?
Right.
Well, if you identify that this particular person has gifts and talents that you don't have, imagine, and if you feel like you've accomplished a little bit before you got married, imagine how much more you can do together.
And honestly, sometimes you don't find out gifts and talents until later.
Well, that's true.
I know that happened with me.
Okay.
Did it happen with you?
Yeah, it did. I thought that I had certain gifts and talents, and I was wrong.
Well, I know mostly my gifts and talents, but how they evolved was not how I saw them initially.
Okay,
and then finding out new gifts and talents, it's like, well, look at there. Growing up, I would have never considered myself a creative. Sure, I can draw. Sure, I can do all these things. I just never saw myself. I liked art. I loved art. Still never saw myself as a creative, though.
Yeah.
And so now being able to use all those things, or not those things even, but finding new things that I can use my gifts with, it's like, well, look at there.
Yeah.
And then seeing those gifts being used and blended with your gifts. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
pretty cool. And being able to create businesses with those gifts.
Pretty.
Curb Your Enthusiasm.
There
Love
we
that show.
go. Larry David. Anyway,
Okay, so where will we, babe?
well, our end goal is heaven.
Yes, there we go.
Our end goal is heaven and to be with God. And as we mentioned before,
Yes.
our marriage relationship is is modeled after our relationship with God.
Yes.
And if we can appreciate that, then we can appreciate our relationship with God, and we can overcome anything in Him, as Jesus did all those years ago. I mean, if you look back at the life of Christ as He walked on this earth, it was always through the Father.
Yes.
It was always
And
through
He
the
was
Father.
perfect. But He
And
still went
so
through trials and tribulations.
He did, but He found His strength
Yes.
in the Father, and that's something that ultimately, I mean, we talk about how we can grow together, we can encourage each other in our marriage relationships, our family relationships, whatever the case may be. But ultimately, the power to overcome any of these challenges that we face in life is only through God the Father. And that's where we have to lean, right? We said that leaning on, you said leaning on Jesus, putting on the armor of God,
Correct.
right? So that we can navigate through life together. So no, don't fear your marriage, and don't fear what challenges will come.
Because you're gonna get challenges anyway.
Yeah, I mean, and here's the thing, like you said at the top, we talk about spiritual warfare, and that is the term just sounds scary.
But it's an honor.
Ooh, ooh,
It's an honor.
You done said something there. Why you say it's an honor, right?
It's an honor to go through spiritual warfare because we did it with Christ. We're doing it with Christ. He is our, I don't know how to say it as far as sports is concerned, but he's our star player, really. You know, it's an honor to walk with him through those battles.
He's a franchise, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and we think about it, since we've talked a lot about the Bible,
this is a whole Bible study.
Yeah, look at Job. Look at Job. The reason why Job was chosen to suffer the challenges that he did was because of his faith.
Yes.
It was because of his faith.
Because God knew he wouldn't waver.
Right. You know, I mean, it's that. You go back and you look, if you go back and read the book of Job, you'll find that there was a conversation between God and the devil, right? And the conversation came up where the devil was like, yeah, well, you know, folks, they follow you because you bless them. Yeah,
and it's the only time in the Bible that is seen through that view.
Yeah. You bless them, so because you bless them, they're not gonna forsake you. They're not gonna betray you.
Satan challenged God.
Yeah,
and God was like, "That's all right. I got one for you. Go on and see how Job will do."
Right. Take the blessings that I've given him away. Don't hurt him.
Right.
But take the blessings away and see what he does. And if we consider the challenges that we face in our life as an opportunity to prove God, then yes, like you say, it is an honor to make God's word true.
And in that situation, Satan threw everything he had.
Everything.
But Job was the right one. Job was like, I ain't playing with you. You can take all these things. And I see them being taken. And I don't really know what's going on.
Right.
What I do know is I trust God.
Right. And, you know, here's the thing. I'm sorry. But when Job said, God giveth and God taketh away, right? He didn't even give the devil credit for taking the things that God blessed him with away. You think about that for a minute.
Yeah, that's a hard one to sit on. But his whole story was a hard pill to swallow, honestly, just reading it and rereading it.
Yeah.
But I have pulled that story out so many times because I needed that strength. Like, okay, where did he get this strength from? Where did he get this faith from?
Yeah.
Let me read up on Job again because I need it right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that's the whole point of the Bible.
And even in...
to be able to reach and find those things.
Yeah. And even in the story of Job, right?
Yeah.
And this is to kind of wrap this, right? Even in the story of Job, you can actually see how that spiritual warfare creep
Firsthand.
into his marriage.
Yes.
Because
Yep.
even Job's wife looked at him and said, "Why are you going through this?
Yeah.
Curse God and die.
Yeah.
Curse God and God and die." That's and that is the spiritual warfare, even in the marriage.
Yes. Yeah, y'all gotta, if you don't know the story of Job, go read it.
Go read
Yes.
the book of Job. Just start from the beginning.
Yes.
Right.
It is his story. That is correct.
Yeah. So
Okay, so let's give the references because we do have to wrap it up.
Yeah.
So references was oh my goodness. Interverity.com.
Interverity. Is it Interverity?
Yes.
Interverity.com.
Are you going to it?
Yeah,
I'll keep going. Okay. Fierce Marriage. Focusonthefamily.com. And then, of course, the Bible. I'll give a few more scriptures just to make sure that you all get the points. Ephesians 6:10-18 describes and instructs believers to put on the spiritual armor of God against the devil. Of course, that's paraphrased. Psalms 91 verses 1-16 shows God as a refuge, a fortress against any spiritual attacks. Did you find it, babe?
Nope. Still working on them.
Did you click? You didn't click the link.
I clicked the link, but it
Okay.
didn't take me anywhere.
Interverity. All right. Well, I'll keep going. Okay. So love lessons. The goal is to move from fighting against each other, which we said earlier,
Right.
to fighting for the marriage together. So just keeping that in mind.
Yeah.
And then Romans 8:37, going right back to scripture. In all these things, we are more than conquerors through him who loves us. That's the end goal. We're more than conquerors. That tells you right there, we're going to win.
Yes.
If you do all the things that you're supposed to do and go with God, if you can't find a baby, it's okay. And go with God to make sure that in the end you are conquering with him.
You know,
You want
and
to close this? Oh, go ahead.
well, I do want to say this. If nothing encourages you, know that you can choose. I would say you can choose to walk on the side of the one that we know has already won.
Yes, he's already won.
He's already won. I mean, that's like being drafted. I mean, sports analogy.
Okay,
right?
go back to draft.
Yeah, being drafted to play on the 95 Chicago Bulls team with Michael Jordan. That was actually their second to last. That was their last 95, 96. Their last NBA championship.
Okay.
Being drafted on that team, and because you just watched them do two prior to that, and we knew that they were going to win again because they had Michael Jordan. Why not?
All right.
Why not?
Why not? That's definitely the hope.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So you're on the winning team, is it?
Thank you. That's the point. You're on the winning team. I was going to say your point.
Yeah.
Okay, so close out, babe.
All right. So look, we want to thank you again for joining us on the Marriage Be Like podcast. We want to certainly invite you to like, share, and subscribe.
Yes, like, share, subscribe, comment.
Yes. Let us know what you think about what you heard today in the comments, wherever you're getting your podcast. We are... You can check us out on our website at marriagebelike.com. And if you have any questions, you want to be on a show, you want to just share some additional encouragement, because Kenya gets discouraged from time to time.
Ooh.
No.
Me? Really? Okay.
Or if you want to, you see our book, the Echoes of Faith, the devotional. Oh, did you hear that? Faith. Did you say it loud enough?
I thought so. I'm in the mic.
The Echoes of Faith, you can reach out to us. We can get you an autographed copy of that.
That is correct.
We're on envision-radio.com on Thursdays at 4 Eastern and 3 p.m. Central Time. Let's see what else. And the music that you hear right now, is produced by KEG Beats.
Yes.
Yeah, KEG Beats. So you can email us if you want to be like it.
Yes.
And the Marriage Be Like podcast is a production of the award-winning Green Room Entertainment. We are a media production here in Alabama. So check us out at greenroomentertain.com.
Okay, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. Come back next week.
Yes.
And tell your family and friends that you found a great podcast that's encouraging, that's spiritual.
Yes.
And that pushes for marriage, beautiful marriages. Okay, we hope you have had a great time listening. We hope you have a great week. Thank you. Bye-bye.
12 o'clock.
I don't know. How long was that? That's the real question. I felt like it was longer than an hour.